Hey guys, pretty sure I'm live. Hi Joe, nice to see you here, darling. You alright? We got some wildlife stuff to do tonight, which will be quite nice. Oh, nice bit of brew. I've been working on this piece. It's actually a commission piece, and it's A3. And although I've done wolf fur before, which you've seen on my Fur Fridays, I've never actually done a full wolf. Hey! So it's been really, really nice to get my teeth into doing a full, I mean, it's not the whole body, but it's, if I zoom you out as far as the camera will allow without pinching my fingers. I mean, my hand is here, so that gives you an idea of scale. And I've managed to get the back bit done, the left bit done. The eye I need to alter slightly because where there's not enough shading on it yet, it looks bigger than the other eye, which is a bit annoying. But I think a lot of that's down to the fact that not all the shading is in yet. So as I get on with that, hopefully that will mean that it sort of matches up. Although actually, looking at the reference picture, it is slightly bigger anyway, because that eye is slightly forward towards the camera where the other one isn't. But I think, yeah, there still needs to be a bit of shading on there. And I think I want to bring in a little bit more depth of colour. So I might work on some of the black areas as well. So how are you guys? Hi Dan, you alright? What I'll do is I'll just make a start while people are joining. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll share the feed as well. That would be helpful. Share that out. Why do I need to log in? Oh, that's annoying. So how are we all today? Are we okay? The storms hit us at the minute, so it's really, really windy outside. One more and then we're done. I was just about to grab a bite to eat. Today's been wet. I'm good, but it's time for bed, but I won't go anyway. Hi Vicky, hi Georgina. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to getting this one done. And the next one after this is, I haven't even drawn it yet and he's already purchased it, bless him. But I'm doing, so you know the Sapphire series, the new Tiger in the Sapphire series. I'm doing a giraffe next in those colours. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I need to choose the next animal for the series. I don't know how many animals I'm going to have per series. I might just go with the flow until I get bored. But I don't want to do them all in the sapphire colour and then repeat the same animals in the other colours that I end up doing. So I need to figure something out there. Okay. So yeah, I need to add a bit more shading on this eye. Shall I zoom you back in now? I've lost my reference now. I've done all that. There we go. Seem to have a bit of shadow casting on here. Yeah, I'm the same actually. It's funny. Are you ever given a prompt, or do you have to do stuff off the top of your head? Because I always find if I'm given a prompt, I tend to get my teeth into it a bit more. But when I'm given free rein, then it becomes a bit, there's too many choices. That's a bit better, although he still looks like he's looking in a different direction. I think look, I'm doing a live feed. Itchy nose. Hi, Gary. Hi, Evie. How long have I been drawing for? What's my favourite art piece? Can you show us your favourite art piece? What pencils are you using? What paper are you using? That's a print. So tired today. I literally got back from the school run, and no, I didn't. John took them down. The only way we could get Amelie to school this morning was giving her a lift down, so luckily he's on late. But he was playing his game, and I literally fell asleep on the sofa, so that was good. Managed to squeeze in about 20 minutes before my phone went off. Rob, hello stranger. So I could always ask them what they want and we can buy my style and their idea. That sounds cool. Almost like a proper collaboration then, isn't it? Lost a bit of shape on the edge here, so I'm just using the slice tool to just gently that might also improve. Is that out of focus? Why does it look out of focus? I don't think it's as orange either as the other eye. Evens it up, doesn't it? Since walking away and coming back to it, I've realised just how much more browner these sections are. There's a lot more brown in them. So I might add a little bit just to see how we get on. Gary, I have a request for you when I'm on my live feed, by the way. Please don't ever let me go, oh yeah, well I do the odd commission, because no, I don't do them anymore. Unless they're on my list, I don't do them. So make sure that I don't put myself in it. Because of all the inquiries that I had that evening, 0 messages. Oh, there's so much dust on the naughty step, Rob. We've been waiting for you to go sit on it. I don't think there's any room left. Yeah, definitely missing a bit of colour. Seems to be in a bit better light today. Duck or a duck girl in a scattered eggshell, and it was like, oh, that sounds cool. Oh, it always is. And this is exactly like, or the driving force behind why I wasn't going to do it anymore. And I just need to stick to my guns now because I'm just tired of getting my hopes up. I don't know why you look so out of focus, because it's really not. Don't get that. No, you don't know until you try. I've lost plenty of them over the years. This bit, I think, although it's, I don't know what it is, but something in here makes me feel like it's too big. It doesn't quite sit right. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I think some of it's this bit under here. That's already better. No pets, no people. It'll either be original work or on the link that I've shoved in the bio. There's prices for watches, cars, wildlife portrait and a sapphire series, and that's it. And that's all I'm going to offer now. And to be honest, I've got so much to sort out anyway. It would be a good idea not to put myself in that position. So if you've got any questions about techniques and things for fur, obviously please fire away. I was going to start tackling the nose hair because it's always a bit of a nightmare. I thought it might be something good to cover on the live feed. I'm a bit happier with the eye now. God, this lighting's so bad. It's so windy. What's it like where you guys are? If the roof comes off the office and I scream, then just ignore me. Go on with your day. Right, I'm going to put a base down first. Probably should get on with this side, but I can turn the page quite easily, I think. Hey, you're right. Windy and freezing cold. That make us go out for break and lunch. Oh yeah, not nice in this weather. Especially as everywhere you sit's going to be wet anyway. Have you got anywhere that's sheltered? bit talented with that lathe or whatever the hell you call it, the wood turning, haven't you, Rob? Turning out some lovely stuff. Yeah, you gotta make sure you share it in the group. We need to see kitten photos in the group. It's compulsory. Okay, I'm going to work my way up the shades now because it's not particularly dark, but there is still quite a lot of colour there. You seem to have a good lot of banter on your lives. It's really lovely to see. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out directions. So that goes in that direction. That goes in that direction. Because it can't be normal, can it? And then we'll come around. We sort of come around and then we go up again. Sort of like so. See, that's where I have fun on TikTok. I can get away with it on there. I've told him that, I really have, and we've still not seen much. I promise you, anybody who's ever thought about wanting to share in the group but hasn't yet, there are no judgmental people in the group. The Doodle family are incredibly supportive and will not judge. So, you know, if you do want to share something, don't be embarrassed to do it. Oh no, don't tell me that, Catherine. It's wet, rainy and windy. Really cold. Can you send some my way, please? And thank you. See, it is. Camera's on and I'll itchy nose all the time. So, right. Mapping out the fur direction very gently. So I don't lose the direction, because I do have a bit of a habit. I think I've drawn so much fur in my time. I know which direction it always goes in, so I don't always pay attention. So should the subject matter's fur slightly change, I've just gone in the direction I know that 98% of the animals go. Should this one particular one be slightly different, I have a habit of just getting into it and free flowing. So yeah, it's good to map out sort of just the flow of the direction. And you can just do it lightly as well, you don't have to be heavy. Oh, it's so peaceful, apart from the wind. I don't think anyone is interested. Of course we're interested, Rob. It's not... Okay, I need to try and change the name of the group. Okay. I don't know, craft share? I don't know, something. We need to open it up, because it is open to everybody, whether you crochet, knit, paint, do woodworking, do ceramics. It really doesn't matter really doesn't matter. It's all an art form. Just because you don't draw, it doesn't mean to say it's not welcome in the group, because I love doing loads of different stuff. You know that. I'm never ever consistent with what I do. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. It's nice and sunny tomorrow. We know where it's come from. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly, again, each sort of stroke I've been doing on here has roughly been about 1/2 an inch. Certainly on the longer side. When I come down to this, I'm shortening them as I come down closer to the actual nose. Worked quite well. So pretty much sort of from here down, I need to literally, we're talking millimeters here. This is quite an arduous task, so if it gets a bit dull, let me know. If you want me to zoom in, let me know. It might be because the latency level's low, just to make it easier to talk to you guys, but it shouldn't be pixelated. It's still pretty good my end. Okay, zoom in a bit. How's that? Don't know whether that's going to affect. I'm so glad everything's on arms. I can just move it as I need to. I think that's okay on light. My head's now disappearing, isn't it? Got shadow cast. That's really annoying. Sorry, squeaky noise coming. So block your ears if you don't like squeaky noises. God, that's really bad. I don't know why it's so bad. It's not normally this bad. No. Don't get it. Oh, lighting's such a pain. So you can see how tiny I'm doing these and how light I'm doing them. I have to say, Rob, everyone's been exceptionally well behaved. I'm not sure what that says for you, but you know. So what are you guys working on at the moment? Whether it be drawing, painting, woodworking. Actually, I don't see because it's so light. Yes, that's probably a bit of an issue actually. I'll tell you what, I'll work on it section by section, so we'll build up the light and then you'll be able to see it a bit more. Oh, having a love-hate relationship with TikTok right now. Oh, nice. How are you finding it on pastel matte? Are you finding you're having to layer loads? Sorting and packing. Have you got a move date? I've moved it slightly, so hopefully there won't be. If I move, God, that's bad. No. It'll have to do. Oh, hang on. Being a daisy. Nope, still just as bad. Nothing's ever simple. Oh wow, God, that's quick. Oh, bless you. I hope you start to feel a bit better soon. I can't remember if I've said on here yet, guys. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to tell you. But I'll be on the Colour Me Happy show 7 o'clock on Friday with Sarah. It's the first time I've worked with Sarah on that show, so I'm a bit nervous. So hopefully it'll all go okay. Hi, Leslie. Little French bulldog called Eric. Aww. I like Frenchies, they're cool. See, I'm being naughty and my reference isn't up. There we go. I'm still pretty in there okay with the colour. Just using Payne's Grey mainly at the moment. Most of this has been done with Payne's Grey, Dark Sepia, Caput Mortem, Dark Indigo, a bit of black, and mainly warm greys. Oh, honestly, it's so nervy. Like, she's the CEO of the company. It's her company. She'll be the second Dragon's Den that I would have ever met. Dragon's Den dragon. So yeah, I am a bit nervous. But anyway, it's 7 PM on Friday. That doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. It's on their Facebook group, Facebook page, and it's on their YouTube page. So if you follow Crafters Companion, it'll be on there. So you can watch it back at any time, because I believe they keep all the shows live anyway, still on the channel anyway. By the way, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but I'm going to start to offer these in my shop. Big one. Hoping there. Oh, look at that under that light. Oh, it's delicious. I'm going to start offering options to add holographic on top of some of my pictures, because they look amazing. I'm going to offer more of like my stickers with them on as well, and my bookmarks. And isn't it beautiful? Ignore these because I was practicing and they're a little bit a little bit creased. But look, hang on, let me just look at that. Oh, isn't that delicious? Just love it. So I'm going to start offering this option as well in the shop, not only on these, but they work extremely well on these prints too. Look, just like that wasn't cute enough already. I know I sound like I'm praising my own art, but damn, I'm proud of these characters. I really am. But they just look so cool with the designs. Look. My foxes and the deer. I tried the broken glass one on the foxes, but although I like it, I think it's too busy. I think the stars worked better for the foxes. But yeah, I think I'm going to offer a limited run of prints on these because I have to do them all by hand. So thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Norsna. Received my bookmark yesterday and thank you for my freebies. Now I have a special box for yours. Aww. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me, Leslie. They're really lovely bookmarks, aren't they? Yeah. I still have a piece of work in my thing that was like 2 years old that's still nowhere near finished. Yeah, the stars on the foxes look amazing, don't they? Oh, bless you. Honestly, you've been such a huge supporter. It's been amazing. So what I'm going to do after this one is start to blend it all in. He's got this really weird slant on his head where normally a cat or a dog has that middle line. If you've drawn cats or dogs, you'll know the line I'm talking about. They normally have that middle line where it goes over the eye socket. So the fur generally goes in that direction. But for some reason, I don't know whether it's the angle of the fox or there's just a curve in the fur that just goes off in one direction. So it's a bit weird. It's not what I'm used to drawing, so it looks a bit strange. Oh, what dog are you doing? The thing is, burnout's a real thing, and I think we make ourselves feel... I'm terrible for it. We make ourselves feel really guilty for not having the energy to do something, but actually that's our brains and bodies telling us, look, hey, it's a bit time for a break. Let's have a break. You know, it's not going anywhere. You can come back to it. And quite often we'll ignore it, and then we'll set ourselves into a bit of an art block. Right, if I blend over that now, and I'm going to blend with a little bit of a blue shade, so might use the light grey. Poor old coffee man's down the coast in this weather. There you go. Can you see how nice and blended that's coming together? The only thing I don't like is the transition here. That's got to be changed. We've got to start bringing it up to be a bit longer. It's a good question. It's a little dog, but I don't know which breed. Short head and brown. Do any of you warm up before you do drawing? I don't personally, but I know a lot of people suggest that you do. Like just thumbnailing in books or scribbling on a bit of paper or... They're too long. That's a bit better. Yeah, I like the wood burner. Oh dear. I'd love to have a little wood burner in here. How's my old faithful desk, Leslie? Still going? I eat chocolate. Oh dear. I like unicorns Maya. Well, I'm sorry, but all these amazing ways you lot are warming up, I feel proper boring now. There we go, it's blending in better, and it seems to go a lot more with the curve of the fur. I don't know why, but this bit here seems to stop. This bit seems to flow quite nicely. This bit's driving me a bit crazy. I don't know if it's the changing colour. Not everybody does, but a lot of people that illustrate do. They tend to thumbnail and things in their sketchbook, or just sketch whatever comes to their mind just to get their hands heated up and warmed up. It's like it's no different to going to the gym really. You sort of warm yourself up, get ready to go sort of thing. So it can be a helpful tool if you find that you're in an art block. Just literally get yourself a scrap bit of paper and just scribble. You don't have to do anything that makes sense. It doesn't have to be a drawing. It just has to be something to loosen the old hands up, and you know, sometimes it's quite a nice release just to make a mess. Yep, still going strong. Had to tidy up the other day so I could see it. Oh, that was a good desk, that was. Right, I feel inclined to reduce the darkness in some of this a little bit here. Mine didn't go there, I'm afraid. That's all on you tonight, Gary. I found a new program to watch on YouTube as I've now run out of my £600 Life in Kitchen Nightmares. Oh, what are you watching now then? Right. So even only after, what's that, 3 or 4 layers, we're already starting to look nice and soft. I relax with my son and do his art school projects. Oh, that's cool. I had a meeting with one of the people that Emily talks to at school on a regular basis, just to catch up really. And Emily came in when we were due to pick her up, and she saw this like knitted monster on their windowsill, and it's like their worry monster. There's a website called Knit for Nout, and it's a charity that knits worry monsters for kids for free. So of course she saw one and was like, "Mum, can you make me one?" So I was sat there all afternoon on the sofa crocheting her a worry monster. So my hands are sufficiently warmed up. Tabitha Takes Over, basically a female version of Gordon. Do you know what makes me laugh about those? All these people, they're the ones that call Gordon in to get his help, but they're the first people to tell him he's completely wrong and he doesn't know what he's talking about. I've never understood that. Why would you call someone in to help you if you're not going to expect any critiquing or, you know, anything like that going with it? Oh, I know why it looks wrong, you silly donut. I haven't come far enough across. See, that's because I wasn't looking at my reference. And I'm always telling people off for not looking at their reference. You do a lot of baking, don't you? Is Emily working tonight? It's the ones who swear blind their food is fantastic. Yeah, exactly. They're like, it's denial. I told you this was tedious. It's not the most interesting thing. So if you want me to move on to a specific area that maybe you've struggled with in the past, please just comment and I'll move on. Yeah, I totally get that. I think your mind can get a bit lost when you're given free rein sometimes, and as creatives, actually I think we're worse for our brains going off on a tangent, and you end up giving yourself so many choices that you just end up becoming overwhelmed. it's poi. What type of poi? I had to make pancakes for the kids tonight because Emily insisted on having pancakes, but I made them in between a normal pancake and a drop pancake. Oh, they were really delicious. I'm better at eating than baking. I love baking, but I'm a bit impatient. I wonder where Emily gets it from. Yeah, I imagine you were on a French. They've got quite short fur around their muzzles, haven't they? So I've picked the picture for the giraffe I'm doing next. The line work's all ready for that. And then I have a jaguar, which I'm going to do. And I really need to narrow my list down so I don't end up duplicating too much. Not that I think it matters, but... yeah, it's the trouble with warm hands, especially with pastry. You can overwork it as well, can't you? I'm like that with polymer clay. I have to use hard polymer clay. I can't use soft because it just goes like chewing gum in my hands. Are you are using different kinds of pressure or going over? I'm sort of going over the same area, but I am applying a little bit more pressure just to try and get a bit more colour down on the first layer rather than it taking two. But what I do is, let me get a bit of paper to show you. So let me see how close I can get you. This is the original line work. Right, so what I find most people tend to do is they tend to do this and just literally go up and down, and that's how they do their fur. And unfortunately you don't get very much spacing in between, and fur naturally doesn't work that way. I'm just going to get a sharper point on the end. What I tend to do is use my fingers, and it's going to sound really strange, but keep your hand as still as you can. Use your fingers. I rest with my little finger, and I'll literally just do little cross patterns like this. And the spacing between is what gives you your natural highlights as well as that fur pattern. But what you need to do is, rather than sort of do your rows and then do a row underneath, which is very unnatural, you need to come up slightly and start about halfway up your previous row and just go over the top. So you're constantly interweaving with your work above it. And then when you come to down to do the tiny little spots, you're literally again just doing little cross marks or just wiggling them left and right just to give them a bit of variation. And all the tiny ones I will just literally go in and do little spots and things if needed. Does that help? So how many of you have done it like this before? Good, good. I'm glad it was helpful. Don't know whether, if now we're really close up, whether you can see each layer I've done has gone over the top of the other layer. So I tell you what, we'll do a little bit this zoomed in so you can see. Then once I've done the blending, if I want to do another layer, I will. But where there's some like nice dark patches, I can go in and I can just accentuate some specific areas that have dark patches through them. Or I can go over and with a darker colour, which I will do near the end as well. Hopefully this will help you as well, Gary, if you were having trouble. Guilty, are you? The thing is though, unless you're shown these techniques, you're not going to know otherwise, so you know, it's like I always say there's never a stupid question, because if somebody doesn't know the answer, I can't abide these people that make people feel terrible for asking a question. If you've never been told that knowledge, you're not going to know, so when I've shown that tip before, a lot of people have put their hand up to say that they have done the rose underneath. So when we zoom out, it looks much more like it's starting to get a denser fur. I worked something out too. Do you know the magic trick where they put a handkerchief in a bag and they pull them out and they come out tied together? It's just a little washing machine. Oh dear. That is true actually, Rob. That is legit true, especially when it comes to socks. There's always something trailing out behind it. Right, so I know I need to even out this side as it's got a little bit too much of a slant, and in the reference it comes up a bit more. But I can work on that when I start working on the left and right side. If I just pop a bit in now. Ah, Dee Dee. No, Dee Dee. You can meow at me you like, my darling, but you're not ruining this one. Hi, Tommy. There's a whole chair over there. Look at that lovely chair with a nice pillow on it with my mouse mat. Let me move the mouse mat. There you go. Oh, such a princess. Okay, so when we get down to here, I'm going to shade in where the flattest parts of the fur are on the nose. She's really grumpy because there's no laps to sit on right now. Hey, Mike. It is Mike, isn't it? It's not Nick, it's Mike. I chuck everything in the same wash. It's when you wash the sheets and half the socks end up in the corner of the sheet. Although I generally do them separately, but there's always something that ends up in there. I found my iPod once inside my washing machine. My child had lovingly hidden in the wash basket. Right, so he's a bit browner on the tip down here, so I can start adding that in on the second layer. I can't remember the sheets. Do you do all the washing in your house? I hate doing the washing. Right, so that's sort of built up the shape I need for the top of the nose. So now everything's sort of blocked in, I can really work on getting fine detail done. So I can shade in a bit more with a beige colour, because I know that there's much more in the way of beige in the fur. I think I want to. Let's just go with the burnt. Oh, no, let's go with nougat. I'm gonna go with nougat. Right, what I want to do is just get a few teeny weeny hairs down on this little bottom bit, and then I'm going to blend everything out and then work on the next lot of layers. So it is an arduous task, but personally for me, I think it's really important to spend the time layering and getting all these little details down before you move on. Because if you don't, if you left it at this, it would just look extremely flat. And although the hairs are very short, we still want it to have dimension. Hi Anjanette. I just suddenly came to mind, if Bon was eating noodles, we would be watching Bon Doodles eating noodles. Oh, that's funny. I should maybe draw a little character of myself eating noodles. So that's what I'm going to do for the base layer. I'm just, as I say, literally pinning in where there's differences in shade. So I'm now going to blend over the whole lot, and I'm going to do that with, I might do it with a luminance actually on this occasion. I'm going to do it with the luminance white because I want it to just dull a few things down. So I'm not being neat, but I am following the direction of the fur. So if you go in the direction of the fur, it stops things looking muddy. pronounced my mum's name right. You're the only one to have done it out of all the others. Ah, I do my best because I know what it's like to have an unusual name. It's a lovely name. I don't think I've ever heard it before. But if you owned a poodle, then it would be Bonita Doodles eating noodles, stroking poodles. Hi, Wyoming Annie. I learned so much from watching you, which inspires me to work on my projects. Current project is an owl in flight. Oh my god, gorgeous. Lots of friggin' feathers. Yes, they do, don't they? And feathers are not the easiest things to draw. He's certainly got a challenge going on. I bet it's going to look stunning though. Right, so we're almost blended all of that. What the blending also helps do, is when I go over again, if I go over with a nice sharp point, it's actually going to pick out the pencil really fine, and then you get some really fine details in there rather than it being that ragged edge which you're normally used to seeing. Oh my god, Rob, you are pushing your luck, young man. You are so naughty. Oh, by the way, I have some bits coming because I'm finally going to get around to offering pencil extenders in the Etsy store, but they're not going to be the same as what I've done before because they're all being used by my pencils. But I am going to do them so they're completely unique. So I'm just waiting for the stuff to arrive, and I'm hoping that things work out. Yeah, fingers crossed. I'll let you know when it all comes through. I'm going to be releasing, I just need to get time to edit it as well. I'm going to be releasing a pastel Puma portrait as well, tutorial. I think it's about 2 hours. It might not even be that long actually. Oh dear, is that you, Rob? You're running. I don't think Rob runs anywhere. My name is Biljana or Biljana? It's so hard to say it on English. Ah. It's like what we see as soz. I think I've tried to find out how you say it, and I think it's Suz or Suz, something like that. Yeah, so it's nice because you get to see all these unusual names. Right, I'm going to go in with dark indigo after I've done the next layer on here. So how many layers is that? It's about 5-6 layers. 5, I think, roughly, that we've done so far. But that's not many layers considering how dense this fur is looking now. Thank you. Bye. I still have the extender you made me, but still not needed to use it. Yeah, really. Honestly, I've just kept all the ones that I've made previously. I might put a couple in that I have spare, but I have a plan to make them, as I say, completely unique. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping I haven't wasted money on supplies. Let's put it that way. Oh, still use mine, look. Still use them. They're just a pain in the bottom to make, so that's why I stopped making those particular ones, because they're quite a pain. So I think in reality I'd have to charge a lot more for them than I was to cover the time. but yeah, they work so well, and they're really comfortable to use. Did you? Ah, I don't think I got any. I don't think I have any spare. No. They did go pretty quick, to be fair. And just for you, Evie, my pencil extenders actually have a name. They're called Extendoodles. Just to satisfy your doodle theme happening there. Oh man, I bet they're amazing. What did you use the same metal? Did you use these bits to hold them in, or did you do something else? I think Erica would have to be on her best behaviour for me to give up one of mine. Extendoodle swapsies. So hopefully you can see by blending and then going over with another layer how much more detail you can get down on the fur and how much denser it looks. I'll see if I can show you actually. Let's try and do another little demo quick. Let's bring that up. Is that in focus? Just about. So if I draw on here, I don't know how you can, if you can see how, not rough, but it's not smooth. So if I do that. But if I put some luminance down, for example, and then go over, can you see how much smoother those pencil lines are? How much more delicate and smoother they are compared to if I didn't have the luminance. So that's why I tend to do a lot of under fur first, then I'll blend over that, and that'll give the illusion of literally layering in the fur. Then I'll do this on top, because then it gives me those really fine top layer fur strokes. I don't know if I'm making sense, but LJ in my country sounds like yuck. But if you know B'Elanna Torres from Star Trek Voyager, that name is something like mine. Oh, okay. Eating noodles, stroking poodles, using Extendoodles. Brilliant. The only thing I would suggest though is don't go and blend in too early, otherwise you're not going to be able to build up and have enough depth. So make sure you're not blending until you've done at least 4 to 5 layers. People make the same mistake with blending solution. I personally don't use it, but people that do, the beginner's mistake is that they'll do one sort of layer of pencil and then they'll go straight in and use blending solution, and it just doesn't work that way. So we're getting smaller and smaller as we come closer to the nose. I need to cut my nails. I keep touching the pencil and it's irritating. I need to look now before I forget. Dragon tail glass pens, did you say? Oh, the twist ones. No, it's not like that, is it? You're not literally talking like a dragon, are you? Because if you did, that's insane. Oh, they're stunning. Oh, they're amazing. I suppose they're not the same dragon tail dip pens. Might come up with the same thing. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. It's abstract. I'm finding a pic. Oh, okay. I'll say because these are literally like proper Chinese dragon. I did see one with quite a big block on the end with what looked like an abstract dragon tail. Also, the other thing, don't overblend too much with your pencils as well, because it can make layering a bit tougher. You'll find getting your harder one, your darker colours harder to get down. What's my reference again? Do you think now Rob's wife can't get up and smack him over the head with a broom that he's getting away with all these cheeky comments? Okay, so the other thing I made then, Evie, were hoodoodles. And I really do wish I had the patience to make more because they were so adorable. So you need to get hoodoodles, which are little owls. Oh, my nose is so itchy. Right. I can now go in with probably my dark indigo. And I'm just going to do tiny little specks near the bridge or the top of the nose here. Dan, I don't know if you're about later, but after this one, I'm probably going to do 1 or 2 hours over on TikTok as well, because I can't do one Friday. Okay, and all I've got to do is meet it in the middle a little bit. Very good. I'm impressed. Okay, so near the end you normally have where sort of the skin is starting to blend in with the fur. So I'm just going to block that in. Just to remind me. And then I'm very quickly just going to go through what I've done and just start adding some darker detail. There's too much difference between here and here. So I think I need to add some more in. Just to bridge that gap slightly between, that's better, between the two. I've only used black on about 2 to 3% of this portrait so far. So I'm trying to keep that down to a minimum. So I'm not doing everything, I'm just finding little spaces to just add a little bit of dark detail in. And that way I don't lose too many of my highlight areas. I so want to say something in reply to men multitasking, but I'm really trying to sit on the fence right now. I don't want to get myself in trouble with anybody. But there is one thing that men are really good at multitasking at. Normally happens when they come home from work, and then they sort of disappear for the next 40 minutes with the phone in their hand. I'd love to see a picture, Mike. Can you, Rob, can you add Mike, if Mike doesn't mind, maybe to the group? Because I know that the group would love to see. I know I certainly would. How were you? Toilet internet. What is it? It's just set in stone. Come home from work, up to the bathroom, and off they are for 40 minutes. My mum actually brought a poo timer, a bathroom timer. Yeah. Bad. So I'll give you credit for that. Oh, it'd be cool, Evie. Let's see how many haters I get tonight, shall we? It's around that time. So is this roughly the time you would spend? Am I doing this roughly the way you would, or have you picked up anything with regards to what you can take forward into your portraits? Because I do worry that with these lives that maybe I'm just repeating myself for things that you've already learnt. Oh, I totally believe that, actually, Dan. I really do totally believe that. The only time you're reminded is in my house when the kids are ramming on the door. I need the bathroom, Dad. It varies. It really does. It varies. So because Amelie's still home from 12, I'm going to take advantage of tonight because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a live tomorrow. I know I can't on Friday. Well, possibly might on Friday. So it wouldn't be till the weekend. And I'm literally 300 people away from 100,000 followers. So I'm doing my best to get that pushed up. Rob should be able to invite you if you are friends on Facebook. Let's turn that right down. No, not 300, 700. I take that back. 700. I guess a long time ago it was totally newspaper time. It was the only time you probably got a bit of a break. No, you're absolutely right, actually. Repetition is good. It drills it in better. That is true, yeah. Oh dear. The numb legs. That's a classic. That is a classic. And then you got pins and needles, and then you have to jump about to get rid of the pins and needles. I think I can get away with making this a bit darker, so I'm trying to think. Maybe paint. I'm trying to think if Payne's Grey would be enough. Let's give it a go. For those of you that like watercolour, I've got a video that I've got to record. A company contacted me to do a collaboration with them. So they've sent me some products to review. Funny enough, they're products I've had my eye on for quite a long time, but never justified the cost. So it'll be interesting to see what they're like. Right, I'm going until I think it was 10, 9:30 or 10 I was going to go till. Do you want me to do the nose? Or do you want me to carry on with the fur? Or do you want me to do the ear? Would that be helpful? Bye Evie. Thank you for joining us. Or have you had enough of looking at the wolf? I could do that bit under his eye actually, because that will give you detail on the longer part of the fur. Nose or ear? Okie doke. Let's do the ear. I could do with getting the ear done, and if I don't, then I'm going to procrastinate over the damn thing. So I'm going to zoom you out so you can get a full focus on that nose. It is darker than the reference, but I don't actually mind that. I think he's more even colour. I think once it's all spread out, I might blend it over with the lighter colour. I'm just going to move Mike, so not literally Mike, my mic, over a bit because I need to turn my page. So if you haven't seen me do this before, we are doing the indenting method to help with the ear fluff because he does have very floofy ears. Itchy nose. So the ear floof, I've only done this side of it because this tends to be the lightest and the most pain. So if we just, I'm doing a little bit of a wave in them as well because they're not straight. And that's a couple of straight ones there that go into wavy. Would Would this work on the wood, Rob? I suppose if the wood is soft enough, it would work on the wood. Because I know when you've done drawing on wood, have you ever tried using it for... I don't suppose it'd be highlight purposes, but... Okay. Yeah, I think actually it'd be quite a nice little addition for doing that. I think it would work quite well. The eye size is really driving me crazy, and I think it's going to stand out until I do this, but for now we're going to do the ear. So the first thing I'm going to do now I've done all that indenting is in the darkest sections is just get some colour down. Which is that bit there. I'm not even going to attempt to say that, Dan. Whoa, wood. There you go. You'll have to have a go, Rob. Obviously, you'll just get the natural wood colour underneath, but I imagine you could paint in those grooves afterwards, couldn't you? Okay, so I'm now going to just go over everything I've done. So that saves me having to fight to get any shadow detail underneath. So we've put the negative down. We're now going in with the positive, and then we're going to work on the negative again. Cool, isn't it? It takes so much work out. It's unreal. The only downside is it does tend to, when you're having to do that much, is it does curl the paper a little bit. So let me move the camera so you've got a bit of a better view and zoom you in a bit. So all up there is dark. That's all dark. And then all I'm going to do is get my eraser and start pulling out more of that colour. And it's going to look a complete mess for a while, but eventually it will look like this. Oh, has it? Oh, I'm intrigued. My poor eraser. I love it when you get that spark of idea. We've got 100 and I think this might be 100 130-foot tree in the back, or not our back garden, next door's back garden, which is dead. Every time we get storms like this, we go into panic mode thinking the damn thing's going to fall into the office roof. Okay, so we need to get the warmer tones in now. So it's going to take a little while to build up. But I'm just going to fill everywhere that's got the warmer fur. This has got cold fur. Nose. Urgh. Right. So I can then literally from here, I'll build a bit up now. I can work in some longer hair detail, and I can pick out various shadow spots that need to be stronger, and then it just helps certain parts of the ear stand out. And it's just a case of working over and over with the layers. Ah, so you think that might work? Oh, you have to show us if you have a go. I love the fact that you can cross-platform ideas like this. I think it's brilliant. See how much more natural it's starting to look, and we haven't done a huge amount in the ear, really. We're only 10% in, if that. The trick, if you're doing this on paper, if you aren't familiar with the technique, I know a lot of you are, because I've done plenty of tutorials using this exact technique, but make sure that if you're doing it on paper, you have something soft underneath, otherwise your valleys won't be deep enough. Okay, I need the beige. I'm just putting flat colour down at the minute. So many people say I work fast. I don't see it, but I must do. People are saying it on TikTok as well. It's funny, isn't it? You're a magician. Thank you, Dan. I do call them my little magic wands of colour. Work smarter, not harder, right? Right, I'm just going to do some directional flow. Make sure we get that right, and then we're going to need to work on some of the back of the ear. Right, what I did on this side is I did get a luminance just to accentuate and soften the edges where it comes into this part of the ear. Can you do feathers in the same way you do the fur naturally? Yeah, you can actually, because like if you look at the owl bits near their eyes, they're all very much crisscrossed, aren't they? So yeah, it does work for those. I know when I've done owl faces close up, I have used it before. So I'm sort of pushing pencil into that area to soften where it joins, so it looks like much more of a natural. Can you see how they disappear now? It's bonkers, isn't it? So I can then come in again and just pick out little fine details. Ear fluff used to drive me absolutely crazy. But I don't overthink it now, and to be honest, I don't do it always exactly like the reference. I'll do it in whatever I find easiest at the time. So they may not be dead on what the reference looks like, but it's good enough that it doesn't affect the final piece. But blending just softens some of those indents out, because his ears are really soft and fluffy. Oh, by the way, I probably should have put it in the description. I'm gonna have to try and make sure I do. Ron Daniels, you know, the guy who offered me the shark photos. This is his photo. The same with the fox that I did. That's his photo as well. Right, let me move me out the way, and then I don't have to keep moving the paper so much. Awful light on it too. Okay, so we need to, I think I'm just going to keep working on the inner ear floof at the moment. Oh, pencil's too blunt. Yeah, I mean, if I zoom out now, and I'm not even anywhere near done, it looks alright, doesn't it? It doesn't look odd, although that left ear is now bugging me. Why is that bugging me all of a sudden? Oh, that's better. That's better. Right. Happy now. Happy now. Oh, God, I love drawing. It's so satisfying. Did you use the brown in the left ear, or is it the greys? I am using, your warm greys have a slight brown tint to them, so I don't know. Can you see even in the barrel? And that's a warm grey. So it's really, really almost like a beigey tint. So I will use some brown, but the majority of the base and everything will be done with this. And then I will either use my nougat or my burnt umber, probably my nougat, to be honest, because it tends to be a bit more, a slightly warmer brown, whereas the umber is a bit more yellow. I'm trying not to wiggle too much because the camera has a habit of disconnecting. So once I get all this figured out in here, I can then start to build up even more shadow. There's a lot more shadow in here than there is in the other ear because of the angle that the photo's taken, so you can see a bit more detail. What I'll do is in some of these larger areas here, I'll bring the slice tool in. Grab my black. I keep checking my phone to make sure I've not had a phone call to say that his van's down in the middle of a ditch somewhere. Nothing so far. I'm just really roughly placing in fur direction. That's that bit. I don't know why I've got that line there because it doesn't need to be there. I can bring up some long strands of darker fur that come in from this section. Having all these little bits at the front tends to then push it to the back, so it just tends for it to make more sense. So we've got like a lightish bit of fur there, which I can just erase out. And then we've got quite a fine one down here, so that's where I'm going to bring the slice tool in. Might actually bring some black in on this one. So I'll grab the slice tool. There we go. Why not? Give it a go. Okay, so this section down here could do with being a bit browner, so I'm just going to glaze over the colour that's already been put down and just warm that section up. because all the time that I've got those indents, I haven't got to worry. But I just want to warm those up, and then again I will go over with my Tombow. Sounds like an Alice in Wonderland scene's gonna happen. Off with our head. Okay, so I should hopefully, now it's warmed up a bit, be able to come in and just bring out a little bit more. Blend those lines in a little bit more so this not quite so harsh. But this side's a bit more in focus than the other side, so it's not a huge issue. I think we're looking fairly even on the floof side of things. So this is Nougat. Which is what I put down for the central part of the ear, like this bit that runs down this bit. Don't go above, don't go above. I've actually put a border on this one, so because I've got to get this one mounted and framed. Now a few things are actually opening up slowly but surely. Dark sepia, dark sepia, dark sepia. There he be. Thank you, Vicky. We're getting there, aren't we? I'm glad the ears are working out because it's a bit of a worry when you're trying to get them even. Am I breaking up? I keep getting messages saying my OBS is disconnecting. I don't know whether it's because of the weather, but the internet's fine. Okay, we've got 10 minutes anyway, so I'll keep going. Okay, yeah, it's my OBS is being a bit weird. Don't know why. Never normally have a problem with it. should be. We're with Virgin, so all of our cables are underneath, but obviously the boxes are still affected, aren't they? Oh, did it? Oh, okay. It is mighty windy out there, let's be fair. Do you know, I might, no, I'm going to bring in Caput Mortem, I think. I need to warm that up a bit more. That's better. Yeah, keeping the colours down and just like wrapping presents at Christmas, they disappear. Oh, your back is going now. Right, I'm going to zoom you out so we can have a bit of a rough look so far. I think it looks fairly natural. They could have done with being a bit finer, but I think they look absolutely fine. Right, I keep getting error messages popping up on my OBS. I think it might be an issue with the program itself. I'm going to need to go and have a look for an update. So before I get disconnected again, if I stop here, because the last thing I want to do is literally be disconnecting without being able to say goodbye to you guys. So I think we're only 10 minutes early from stopping anyway, so it's not terrible. So I'm going to go refresh, have a cup of coffee and all that sort of jazz, and then I'm going to nip on and do an hour on TikTok, and then I'm going to call it a night. So hopefully you found that useful. If you do have any specific questions, don't be afraid to comment on this later on or ask a question in the group. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, more than welcome to ask questions. So I shall see you guys in the next live feed, but good morning, afternoon, evening, whichever it may be where you are, and I shall see you in the next live. Bye.